Alright, yeah, and welcome back to round 2 for the subscriber tournament. This round we're going against the Calibrated Chaos with his Simic energy deck. I'm feeling a little bit more confident about this matchup, but we'll have to see how it goes when we get into the games anyway. I'm fairly more confident than the previous one. The previous one was kind of just never going to happen. This one I feel very much so that we could pull out a game here. We'll see. Alright guys, I'll see you in the games. Alright, we're in. This one... turn 2, a Corpse Hauler, and then a Reclamation Sage that doesn't hit anything. Yet again, Reclamation Sage is actually a pretty dead card. But we have our black and we have plenty of lands. I think we can keep this. Opponent leads off with a Hinterland Harbour. Fairly okay in my books, I'd say. A Bone Splinters is actually really good for us because he does have a few flyers and a few trampling creatures as well. So that is a good way to deal with them when our elves won't, essentially. So we'll save that for a very special time. Opponent goes with an island and passes back. I imagine Telling Time is coming on our opponent's turn. So we're going to go with a Swamp and a Corpse Hauler. And then we're just going to pass the turn and our opponent's likely going to Telling Time. Would be my guess. No, maybe not. That would be the perfect time for them to do it anyway. Forest. And does he have a turn 3 player? Reclamation Sage. Okay. So we could swing in with our Corpse Hauler and just trade off. I'm not against that because then we get to put a Reclamation Sage in its place. So, yeah, sure, why not? Let's do it. Swing in. If we don't swing in, I bet he probably swings in. So, and we're also pretending that we might have a pump spell. So, you never know. He goes with the trade though. Right, we'll go Woodland Cemetery and Reclamation Sage. A 1-for-1. Ain't too bad. So, if our opponent plays another land, they've got countermand open, so if they do nothing, then they're just waiting to counter something of ours. But I imagine that they won't do that. I reckon they're just going to put something like a Frostlinks on the board. Tap down our Reclamation Sage and stop it from untapping on our untap step. That sucks. That sucks a mighty one. Okay. We get a Scarred Vinebreeder. Can only exile elves from our graveyard though, so the Corpse Hauler being in the yard isn't actually that good. But we do have a Bone Splinters to get a Reclamation Sage in the yard, if we choose to do so. We don't. So we'll go Scarred Vinebreeder, and we'll pass the turn. What we can do is do the same thing that we did with the Corpse Hauler with the Reclamation Sage next turn. And when it dies, if he trades off that is anyway, we get to get our cavalry out with 2 extra counters on it. And that might be the pressure we need to start pushing past him. Woodland Stream. And he's not going to have a counter open for it either. But an Imperial Voyager. There's no longer a trade anymore, unfortunately. I do want to get that guy off the board though. That Flying Trampler is very annoying. We are not going to block. Okay. Sunblade Elf. Interesting. I think we... You see, we could fake a pump spell, but if he blocks then and calls our bluff, we fail on that. So maybe we just Bone Splinters and swing in. We're not getting the cavalry out on this turn is the problem with the extra counters. I don't really want to get rid of the Vinebreeder because we can make it into a 4-4 which gets past a few of his creatures as well. So I guess we are just going to Bone Splinters his Voyager. It don't feel great. That's 3 mana, so we'll save that for when we want to get past his creatures though. Because if we can go wide later on in the game anyway, it's not going to matter because we've got like Primal Bellows and other things like that to give our creatures trample. Plays a Forest and a Dark Slick Drake. See, we can get past that now by exiling a creature. Get to the 4 power and toughness that gets past it. He does draw a card off of it, but that's a flyer off the board that we can't block. Swings in for 2. That's fair enough. We do not block. He's holding up Fog and Primal Bellow as well. So there is a blowout possibility here, unfortunately. So, player Plains, which gives Sunblade Elf +1/+1. So we swing in with the Vine Breeder. If he blocks, we exile, but then we can't trigger the Cavalry's Revolt then if he does end up blowing it out. Let's try it anyway. Let's see if he wants to block. If he wants to block, it makes me feel like he does have a pump spell. Yeah, he's not going to get in. I suppose we just put down one of these cavalries then without the revolt, just to add that extra little bit of pressure to the board. There are no board wipes in this format, so that's another thing that he can't stop us with. And if he double blocks here, then we Sunblade Elf and pump the entire board up. And then we 2-for-1 him. Well, we don't, but we get to take 1 creature off the board with no downside. Puts a counter on the Dark Slick Drake. It's now a 3/5, that's annoying. But he does get in with it. Okay. He's got 2 forests, right? Yeah. So if he does have a Primal Bellow, it's only for 2. Lifespring Druid. So, I think we get in with the Vine Breeder and the Cavalry. If he blocks, we exile, make it a 4/4 to take one of his creatures off the board. And then we'll see what we do about this Sunblade Elf if he blocks here and has a pump spell or something like that. He does have Wild Size and he has Primal Bellow, so this guy could be a 4/4 if he wants to do that. Yeah, let's get into combat. Let's swing in. If we are forced to do the Vine Breeder's ability, we can still afford the Lifespring Druid afterwards as well. So, although we won't be able to play the Cavalry if he kills one of our creatures and triggers Revolt. Yeah, he's going to block there, and I bet he's got a pump spell. So we'll try to take out the Frostlinks because it has the most toughness. Just a Fog prevents all combat damage. Sure. Only got 2 in his deck, so there's 1 more left. And we've lost nothing, so Lifespring Druid, pass the turn. And go. Another Drake, holding up Primal Bellow and another Fog. Alright. And swings in for that 3 again. I think he should probably leave that 5 toughness creature behind, because that is the only thing that's really making me hesitant to attack in half of the time. That 5 toughness is really bad. Another forest for us. That's not great. Okay, so I think it's the same attack again. Don't think anything's changed. We'll add a forest to the board, just in case he's checked out the deck list and he knows we've got our Primal Bellows. Then we're representing a little bit more damage on the board for that. Okay. Well, that one's annoying. I guess we'll just exile a creature out of our graveyard. Give it a little pump. We can afford to pump it again if we choose to do so. So if he goes for a primal bellow, we still lose the Vine Breeder anyway. Yeah. Gives it +2/+2. And then we give them all +1/+1. Not too bad. He gets to draw a card off of that though. And we get his annoying flyers off the board, which is what we really want to see. Telling time. Let's look at the top 3 cards of his library. Put 1 into his hand, 1 on top, and 1 on bottom. Really want to see some pump spells coming out of our deck soon. Because we are at 10. So we're dead in 4 turns to his flyer. The Primal Bellow is currently +3, I think. Is that a forest back there? It is. So 4 turns just on his board state alone. Maybe less if he finds his other Primal Bellow. Or even a wild size. He's going to pass the turn. We find a swamp. Interesting. I think what we do is we swing in with the cavalry. If he blocks, it probably means that we're going to have to Sunblade Elf to make it a 5/5. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got 4 mana left open, so we can't really do anything with that, actually. But it gets an elf into our graveyard for the Vine Breeder later down the line, and the pump spell out of his hand that we're afraid that we might die to. So I guess that's really the best option we have. So we don't have pump spells in our hand, unfortunately. And telling time looking for the pump spell. He's tapped out of Wild Size, so he can only find Primal Bellow now. Wild Size is 3 mana. If he gets that out of his, into the block here, then I'm more than happy with that. Okay, he's not blocking. We're just going to pump the team up. We're not spending it on anything else, so... Hit him for 5. Do I want to play this swamp? We've got 3 mana left open after we pump. Yeah, I guess we'll play the swamp. That's the turn. Just waiting on the pump spell though, because the pump spell just means that we can swing in with everything. Because I pretty much won't mind trading off with a 1 or 2 creatures as long as I can get a stupid amount of damage through. But right now we're in a tricky situation. It's kind of slightly standoffish. I think our opponent's just waiting for a decent blocker so he can start getting in with his flyer again. That seems to be the case. Well, he's got himself a 4/4 Trampler. Gets him some energy as well. Is this counters or is it just ++? It's just +2/+2. Until the end of the turn, but only when he attacks. We are down to 7. I want to see a pump spell here. Oh, that's really irritating. Does trigger the revolt though, so we can get that next turn. We can get a 6/6 out. So if he wants to double block to kill our cavalry here, that's fine, because we're going to renegade map after that. And then play a another cavalry as a 6/6 instead. Yeah. Swinging again. We could also just be dead to a Primal Bellow here though. just going to block there. Well, we're just going to pump. Hit him for 4, play a renegade map, and pass the turn. He's at 8, so I think next turn, pump spell or not, we're just going to probably start swinging in with everything. And just push through so much damage that he ends up being forced into some less than ideal blocks. I'm not even sure what he's going to do this time around though. But if he does get in with his tiger, we're going to probably block a little bit of it. Yeah. So he gets to make that a 6-6. We can make it deal 4. Oh, yeah. That's not great, is it? Didn't think that one through. Yeah, that was a punt on my part. So we have to block with all 3 of our creatures here to take 4 off of it, so it does 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, 6, 5, 4, 3, 6. If he's got a pump spell, he wins. But if he has a pump spell, he wins anyway, even without the block from the druid. So we're just gonna have to see. Am I gonna lose to a punt? No. All right. Oh, I might still lose though. It is trampling after all. Yeah. We don't actually have a way to push through that last bit of 2 damage, so it's gonna be game. Oh, I'm an idiot. Crack this. We're dead to his flyer, but we'll get the planes. Play the planes, play the cavalry. Pretend to have a fog. Countermands our cavalry. Hits our Chorus of Might and our Huntmasters, things that we'd love to have seen ages ago and never saw. Alright, I guess we will play the druid and die. I guess if he had a fog, nothing that we did, even the punt, really matters. Swing in. He has his own fog. Yeah, okay. That sucks. Oh, I'm really angry with myself now. Come at me, bro. My no card in hand fog. You got it. And no blocks. That was a close one. We just waited on pump spells and never got them. Which is really annoying because like a third of this deck is pump spells. But there you go. That's 1 down. Let's get on to the next match and hopefully we pull out another win and no, don't go 0-2 again because that would very much suck. Alright, see you in the next game, guys. Come on, let's have a decent hand. 0 lander. That's not what I asked. 1 lander. Not what I asked. Ah, oh, 2 lander. Yeah, it's going to have to do. Alright, we're off to a bad start immediately. Yeah, that was a bad game last round. I think I made maybe 2 or 3 critical errors. It cost me that game. I just don't do well at tournaments, apparently. Don't like the pressure. But there you go. Right, Woodland Cemetery, and then let's get the most power on the board, which is the Corpse Hauler. And we'll pass the turn. Opponent led off with a Forest into New Plate Hall. Another Forest and a Timberland Guide. Okay. Just put a counter on itself. Which means we are swinging in to try and see if he wants to trade his 2-2 for our 2-1. Ooh, Primal Bellow. Still can't trade that off or trick him, but, you know. No land as well really hurts. Really hurts. Especially no planes for our Rallier. Let's get the Vine Breeder out there and pass the turn. So if our opponent swings in with his 2, we get him for 3 potentially. We'll have to see. gonna have to hold on to this bone splinters for a little longer than usual, I think. I want to keep those trampling creatures and flyers off the board whenever I can. And just try to trade on the ground with our creatures in battle. Oh, unbridled growth. Not too bad, I guess. Doesn't find us our plains. Or an extra land, should I say. But, you know. Swing for 3. Currently we're winning this race. But he's probably got fogs again. Pass the turn. Only 1 forest for our Primal Bellow. +1/+1 for 1. Woo, value. If we get a land, we can get our Rallier down. So that's a nice thing to see. Opponent goes to discard. They're on mana screw by the looks of it. Ooh, we might actually get a game out. Oh my god. Really, game? Really? What we could do is we could gamble with our unbridled growth, but I think we'll wait until our opponent hits their land drop before we start making gambles like that. Essentially, we could sack the unbridled growth after we tap it for white and hope we hit a non-tap land so that we can rally her and get it back, just for that extra little bit of pressure on the board. He finds his land. And the right colour as well. I'll have to see what he wants to do with it, though. Does he want to start getting in? He does. Our opponent's losing this race, unless he's got a creature here. So I'm not sure it's the best strategy in the world, but he beat me last time, so what am I to say anything, to be honest? Alright. Taps down our Corpse Hauler, stops us from attacking. We get another Corpse Hauler. Yeah. Without lands, we can't really play Magic now, can we? Just play another Corpse Hauler and pass. See if he wants to get in with his Frostlinks or something like that. Maybe we decide we want to block. Who knows? Come on, heart the cards, heart the cards. You swinging in for 4? Just for 2. Alright. That's fine. We will swing in for 4 on the swing back unless he's got a creature here. And then I'm not sure. Both at 12 now. So we're getting to those low life totals where every little bit helps. Thriving Rhino at 2/3. That gets progressively bigger the more energy you spend on it. Woo. Oh my god! Okay, I think we have to do this. Really do. Right, tap it for white. Sack this. Hit a land or we'll bust. Wow. Just wow. Alright, let's kill that. Taking out our Vine Breeder. We're just going to have to keep pushing damage through and trading off his creatures so that we don't die quicker. Both mana screw, but it's far worse for us. Because we pretty much have all of our cards at 3 converted mana cost and we're stuck on 2. I think it's pretty much the same for him, but he does have 3 mana right now, so... If he gets one of his big creatures out, at the very least, we've got Bone Splinters, but then we have nothing on board, and then we're just going to die to this guide here. Which will be a very, very sad game of Magic, if that is the outcome of this game. Swings in for 2, gets us down to 10. His Primal Bellows are pretty good right now as well. There's another Thriving Rhino. Can pump it twice over 2 turns if he wants to. Are you kidding me? Are you actually kidding me? Oh! This is disgusting. Alright, unbridled growth. And I guess... do we bone splinters this thing, or do we just pass? It's just for 5 next turn. 8 if he's got a primal bellow, lethal if he has both of them. This is just nasty. What do we have after that? Nothing really. I guess we're just gonna have to take the rhino off the board. Yep. This is looking a lot like last tournament. Last tournament, if you guys didn't watch it, I came in joint last. Oh, it was beautiful. But I run these tournaments for you guys, not for me anyway, so... if I felt like it didn't add value for you guys to get a chance to play against me, I probably wouldn't even enter the tournament at all, because it's not really my style, but, you know. Right, come on. White mana. Crack the bridal growth. Land. 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 Yes! Alright. We're maybe back in this. Maybe. We're at 6. We have a Renegade Rallier. We could get Unbridled Growth again, I think, so that we can get the other Rallier to get a creature down on the board. Alright. Potentially back in this. Oh, I'm reaching, but potentially we're back. So if he plays another forest, we have to block, because if he has Primal Bellow, we lose. I'm kind of tempted just to block it anyway, but we'll see. Yeah, I'm going to have to block. Wild Size and Primal Bellow, or Primal Bellow and Primal Bellow, and we're just dead. So, there's a Wild Size. Turns it into a 4/4. And trades off our Rallier. It's just too little too late for us, really. But, you know. A Swamp, eh? Does that do anything for us? Not really. Not really. Right, Swamp. Sack the Unbridled Growth. Should have held off on that Swamp, because that forest would have been better. Renegade Rallier. This time we will get Corpse Hauler. Because Corpse Hauler can get us another Rallier. If that's the route that we end up taking. Pass the turn. You have Primal Bellow for 1, so we can make this a 4/3 or this a 3/2. Opponent has so many cards in hand. Telling time. He's going to set up the top card of his library and the card in his hand as well. Holding up 2 green mana and now a Hinterland Harbour as well, so all of his pump spells are online. Yet again. See where he swings in. Smart move. I think we should try get a pump spell out of his hand here. So if we block with the Renegade Rallier and then Primal Bellow for 1, we threaten to kill it and get one out of his hand. Yeah. So he didn't want to save it. He must have lethal on board. Yeah, there's your Imperial Voyager. That's going to be game unless we draw a fog. And it's a land. Now that we hit all of our lands. Play a forest. How do we not die here? The only way we don't die is if that Voyager is the thing that blocks our rallier. I'm pretty sure that is the only way we're getting out of this without dying. So, let's find out. Do you want to block? Okay. Yeah. Then we get cavalry down, but pump speller, we're dead. Land. How many pump spells has he used so far? Just 2 wild sizes, so he's got 2 primal bellows left over. There's Dark Slick Drake, still green mana left open. Swings for 2. No pump spell. Come on, fog. Come on, fog. Need that fog. Come on. Oh my god, no. Alright. There's nothing that we can get out of our graveyard, right? No. We are literally just dead in the air, so we have lost. Nothing we can do here. Yeah. Swinging with everything. There's your fog. He's got his. I ain't found mine. Oh, I didn't see them at all in this game. It really hurts. Okay. Play a Reclamation Sage. See if he fears the fog. Does he fear the fog? Not in the slightest. And that's going to be game. Oh, another 1-2. It's painful. It's like being stabbed. Ugh. Alright. That's going to be it for round 2. I think it's fair to say I'm not winning this tournament, but there you go. If you did enjoy the content anyway, guys, then be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It helps me out a great deal. Lets me know you're enjoying the series and the magic and all of that jazz. I'm going to have to look over that first game because I think I punted the crap out of it. This one is mostly down to that mana screw. I think if we'd have hit a land, we might have been able to pull this game out. If we'd have hit a land sooner, anyway, we might have been able to pull it out, but we didn't. So, first game, probably my fault. Second game, totally mana screwed. And then later down the line, just didn't find what we needed. So, yeah. It was fun anyway, I suppose. So, yeah. I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.